Donna and Linda were having a hard time getting on.
Okay, well, we had, it just said, I just talked to, yeah, and we had a problem of getting on.
See Leslie.
Yeah, Donna just called me because she was getting the same message I did. It said waiting for host.
Can you guys hear me? It's Judy. I can't see anybody because I don't have internet.
Yes, we hear you.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to just call Donna back to tell her that, yes, it's working.
Okay. So, John, you're going to lead for me today?
Hey, we're all on now. Try again. Okay, bye. Okay, she's going to try it again. Yeah. Okay, there she is.
So who are we? Are we waiting for?
Judy's on. She's on her phone
I'm
trying.
here.
Oh, Judy's on. Oh,
We
good.
got Judy.
here.
We've got Ellen. Is Ashley joining us this time?
You should be.
Hello, how's it going? Ashley, it's Niall from the Farmer's Market. How's it going, everybody?
And
Els.
So Ashley sent us another link that Raul and I are on. So let me see if I can go. Well, it's on my.
Apparently, you're not on the meeting. Are you there?
I'm here in a meeting with Raul and Niall.
Niall's on ours, but you're not.
He's right here. I can see his little doodad.
Is everyone here?
yeah, I think we've got. I mean, we don't have Ashley. I could hear in the background with Leslie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ashley
Ashley
is in a meeting with
Niall and Raul. It's an alternate universe. So hold on a second, guys. Sorry about this.
Yeah, there's two different links going on. So I had the link to the other one, so I have two different computers open. So yeah, there's just two different links. Can everybody see the screen I'm sharing?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Is it a good size for everybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just wait for Ashley and Raul to come on back. But
Okay, this is Leslie. There was a problem. We had a computer upgrade this week, and so the Zoom calendar invite got switched on Ashley's computer, so she's following the original link, so she'll be on in a second. And she sent it, the correct one, to Raul, so we should all be on the same
There's Ashley.
Zoom meeting.
Hi, everybody.
This is Ellen, and I'm trying to get out of the safe driving mode so I can see what's on screen. So if I go out, I'll come back in, and I'm sorry if that disrupts anything. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, I think everyone's here now.
I think so.
Cool.
Yep. Wait, hold on.
Let me wait for Ellen to get back on.
Do we have
And Judy,
here?
do you want me to run point today?
Yes, please.
Okay. Just wait. Let's let Ellen dial in, and then I'll kick it off officially. All right, I see Ellen, you're dialed in. I'm not sure if you've got us. There you are. Okay, I see you. Okay, great. I think we're ready to go. I'll call the meeting to order at 9:36 a.m. Leslie, I'll let you take it away.
Linda Calafiore,
Yes. Present.
Donna Jett,
Present.
Ellen Martin,
Present.
John Mysick,
Present.
Judy Refuerzo.
Here.
Here. All present, and so sorry for the delay and the complications, you guys.
No problem. First order of business announcements from commissioners. I can start. I just wanted to highlight, again, continued use of public spaces. The community, or the Carmel Youth Center, is starting to use the park really from now through kind of the summer period, and they're going to try during weeks where they're off, so spring break weeks, to do kind of lunch in the park with local residents. And so I think the first one is tomorrow. You can reach out to the center for details, but they can either provide you with a local lunch, or you can bring a bag lunch and eat with the kids and just kind of see what they're all about. And it's a cool way for them to utilize the park in the warmer weather. And so I just wanted to highlight, what they're doing there.
John, how are they getting that out to the community?
They're sending out invites right now to some of the contacts they have, but then I think they're going to start spreading the word. This is the first one they're doing. And so I think they should be sending it out to all commissioners on commissions, to the city government. And then I think they really want to publicize it a little further, probably in the Pine Cone going forward. But for now, they're kind of running a trial tomorrow. And then I think it'll start more in earnest this summer when they're doing summer camps.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're talking about the funding for 4th of July?
Anybody else?
Yes.
I'm trying to see who's got their hand up.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I'll get that information.
And if I think somebody needs to go on mute if possible. Okay, I think that's it for commissioners. Any announcements from staff?
Just thanks for the heads up. We've been working with the CYC on an art project at the library, and so I'll be reaching out to Jessica to talk to her about ensuring that their lunches are on our overall calendar, so that we're aware of them if we've got things scheduled either during or around the farmers market, and that I coordinate with the city forester to ensure that the grass isn't too wet for them to eat lunch on. So that is all. It seems simple to just show up and eat lunch in the park, but if this is going to be a regular thing, I want to ensure that they're comfortable. So thank you for that heads up, and I'll be working with Jessica.
Great. Any public appearances for items not on the agenda?
John, I've got something. This is Dale.
Okay, Dale, please go ahead.
Dale Byrne, I'm representing Carmel Cares. Many of you might not have noticed it, but graffiti has, over the last year, become a problem in town. In fact, if you haven't noticed it, that means our approach has probably been successful, because over the last year, we've been removing it as quickly as we can. In some cases, this is a quick job. In others, it takes several hours with several people, pressure washers, scrubbers, special chemicals, contractors, and some elbow grease. But we've been working with the Carmel Police Department and have worked out an integrated approach to documenting the situations quickly so we can immediately remove it. Now there's another rapidly emerging issue with not only traditional spray paint and paint pen graffiti, but sticker tagging. To better address both of these problems, we've developed a new group called the Tag Team. They'll be trained and armed with a kit of scrapers, solutions, cloths, and whatever it takes to efficiently remove all types of graffiti and stickers quickly. We've also been reaching out to the community so they can be our eyes to locate instances as quickly as possible, because it's important to get rid of it quickly. Simply send an email with a picture and location to cctagteam@gmail.com, and we'll take care of reporting it to the police and removing it quickly. And if you want to help out, you can email that same email and we'll get you trained up. This group will complement our existing 7-person scenic pathway pickup posse, our over 30-person village pickup posse, and our newly announced and currently 5-person strong beach pickup posse. All of those people are out being eyes in the community as well, and they're pretty effective at it. I'd also like to announce that in conjunction with Councilperson Bobby Richards and Public Works Director Bob Herreri, Carmel Cares is applying for the Helen Putnam Award through the California League of Cities. It's a very competitive thing, but we believe it's worth taking a shot at the community services and economic development category. So that'll be submitted by Thursday, which is the deadline. Thank you.
Thanks, Dale. And if anybody hasn't taken advantage of Dale's knowledge of the city, I was fortunate enough to do a ride along the other day and to see some of the work that Carmel Cares has done and to understand where they're headed. It was just a great experience, and I learned a lot about the city. So thanks, Dale, to you and the whole team.
It was great fun being out with you, John.
This is Joe Todd, resident. I would just like to make a comment about Dale's group. Is that the persons that were picking up the cigarette butts at the Shell station, they were just, a plethora of just butts every day. And even though there was a little can there for them to use. And then last week, obviously somebody spoke to them and they did heed to it, because all the butts, they're not there anymore. So that's great news for that, for the pickup person as well.
Thanks, Joe. Any other comments from the public that aren't on items not on the agenda? Okay, I think we'll move next to approving the minutes from the February 8th regular meeting. Is anybody?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Linda Calafiore.
Yes.
Donna Jett.
Yes.
Ellen Martin. Did we lose Ellen?
Yes.
Ellen, you may be muted. Okay, great. Judy Refuerzo.
Yes.
Don Mysick.
Yes.
Approved. Thank you.
Next item of business is receive an update from the farmers market and discuss. Niles?
Awesome. How's it going, guys? I'm Niall, like the river, just so we have that all. So we're excited to give you an update about the Carmel-by-the-Sea farmers market. We think in the last 2 years, it has grown tremendously. It's always exciting when I'm in like the line at the Safeway and they're like, oh yeah, I was at the Thursday market. And so I think it's really become a popular staple of downtown Carmel, and we're really thrilled and honored to be hosting that. So Raul has a couple updates on some new vendors that we have and some offerings. So he can take it from here.
Thanks,
hi everyone, Raul. You might see me around on Thursdays. Lots of good things going on at the farmers market. Right now, we have 15 agricultural vendors, which is almost double what we had when we took over the market in early 2020 or the late 2019. We also have 23 artisan food vendors on hand. A couple of the new artisan food vendors that we've added are local restaurant, Julia's Vegan Restaurant from Pacific Grove. We also have our fish vendor. If any of you ever come to the farmers market, our fish vendor has a big personality. He's a great guy. They're also offering tacos, fish tacos, shrimp tacos, steak tacos, which is something that they actually usually only offer at their Bay Area markets like Mountain View and things like that. So with that being said, it just adds a little bit of how much the market has grown, especially with being able to sustain 15 agricultural vendors. In the past, I mean, I know it's been hard to even sustain two. We have 4 certified organic agricultural vendors, and we have 3 non-certified agriculture vendors, but they were certified organic in the past and continue the practices. They have actually just not been able to pay the organic fees due. I'd like to spotlight one of our vendors called Mendoza Farms, who started recently at our market about 3 months ago. And through the funds he's been able to raise at our farmers market and a couple of others in the area, he's actually on the verge of being certified organic again. So I think that's really that warms my heart that the community is able to, get all their local produce at the farmers market and other goods like that.
Yeah, to add on to that, I think it's really cool to how we've been able to help support small vendors like Milkmaid, Parsley and Fig, and vendors that started off at our market and are now like in wholesale and have products throughout the local retailers as well. I think that's really a great spirit of a farmer's market. And so we're stoked on that. And then we just wanted to touch on a couple new things, but we're going to kind of pull away from the farmers market. Is there any comments regarding specifically the farmers market vendors and all the stuff that goes on Thursdays?
Well, you should be commended, and I love sharing in your success. And I also love the fact that more lunch offerings are present.
Thank you very much. Yeah, Raul.
Niles, wait a minute, Niles. Since you've shared the screen, I can't get the pictures of everyone else. So could you stop sharing the screen?
I'll stop sharing.
Thank you. Thank you.
No
Thank you. It was a great. It was a great display. Okay, now I can see you all. Thank you.
Totally. Okay, cool. So just to kind of pull back, it's been great, the community utilizing the park. So there's actually been some yoga and some other things going on. So the Thursday is really, building that hub, and it's nice to hear about like the Carmel Youth Center as well as utilizing Devendorf. It's such a beautiful place. So that's so great. And then, so I know that we've chatted a little bit about the third Thursdays and doing something a little after the farmers market. We're talking about working with a couple food restaurants, much like the lunches, but more of like a appetizer with a couple local restaurateurs that can have a offering of like, hey, here's our menu for the night. We want to make sure that we're still sending the majority of all the business to the local restaurants, as that's an important staple of Carmel. But we want to have a space where people can kind of meet up and the community can gather, kind of have a taste of what the appetizer may be, see the menu, and then have some local artists being displayed as well. I know that we, a little earlier this year, we had a soap and candle vendor, and we kind of moved away from that, which I totally understand the reasonings. But we want to be able to have a space as well where small local artisans can showcase some of their work. So rather than kind of utilizing the farmers market on Thursday mornings and afternoons for that, doing a third Thursday where we have some kids activities. We have like a paint party where you can kind of do a little painting class, get a local taste of food. And so that's kind of the idea on that. We proposed a budget for 4 months. So we'd be potentially looking to get a official proposal of what that would look like here, just kind of in the next couple weeks, and then hopefully start in maybe June, something along those lines. And then the budget, we sent over the budget things, and I know that's still being discussed, but we greatly appreciate that. We do use all local artists for our signs, and we use wood, and we just wanted to make sure that it's thematic with the Carmel boutique and kind of this beautiful vibe. And obviously a lot of other farmers market vendors just get like canvas signs and things like that, and we really want to make sure that it's like has this really boutique feel. And so that's why we bring the trailer, and like we really want it to have that sense. So a lot of the funds that we do get from vendor stall fees go to that. So with the help of some additional budget, we will be able to continue to offer that. And then we do have I know that the artisans selling their crafts on the farmers market, something we want to step away from. But one thing I think would be really cool is like a cooking demo. We actually had a individual, her company is called Wild Roots. She does like canning and jamming. And so she could come to the farmers market and do that on site. And so people could come by and see like how to make strawberry jam or how to pickle some vegetables and utilize the vegetables or the strawberries that are at the market. So that's something that we would like to propose if everyone is in favor of that, as well as potentially, this is a little wilder idea, but I think it's kind of cool. We've been having a blacksmith. So just full transparency, I moved back to the area. I grew up in the Carmel Valley Village, went to Carmel High, and have been doing farmers markets in the Bay, and we're still continuing that. But my uncle was the realtor for Hacienda Hay and Feed, and he reached out to me last year and was like, hey, like they're gonna knock it down and build a storage facility here. And he's like, do you think we can save this? And I was like, well, I don't know a ton about hay and feed, but I know the community really needs it and really wants it. So let me see what we can do. And so we are creating kind of a community hub as well as a hay and feed at Hacienda. So we're doing workshops, blacksmithing. We have a little, we're potentially going to get a coffee cart and things like that. We are working with the county on getting our general development plan approved, but just so that that's kind of out there, so everyone is aware. And with that being said, we bought the 3.5 acres behind it, which was originally the Walter's Organic Farm. And he was actually a founding member of CCOF in the 1970s. And we are revitalizing that organic farm. And so we actually just sowed our first seeds last week. And so that's kind of just an update on my life and some additional things that we're doing in the community. Everything that we really get involved with is very community oriented and bringing people together. As we've seen that there's a lot of exclusivity that has been created through clubs and memberships and things like that. And so we want to have a open space for various nonprofits and community groups to gather. And so that's what we're kind of building at Hacienda. So that's that. Is there any questions or feedback on that kind of stuff?
Thanks, Niall. Any comments from commissioners? Any comments from public?
I'll step in. So I like your cooking demo idea. I think that's a great idea. I like everything you guys have been doing at the market. I was just in Southern California, and I was in Paso this past week. And they do art in the park and, have activities for kids. And so, our third Thursday or whatever, I think that could be fun. I think you guys are on the right track. Congratulations for all you do. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you for the support. It really means a lot. It's nice to know that we kind of have you guys in our corner as we're kind of building this. So really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any comments from the public?
This is Joe Todd again. I just wanted to congratulate you guys because you are doing a great job there, and I'm there most Thursdays. And the new, I think it's Julia's, one of the new vendors that you have there now. It's just really a great addition, as are the others, but I have been more acquainted with Julia's. So thank you very much.
Great. Thank you. Thanks, Niall. Thanks, Raul. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. We'll see you around.
Take care.
Take care.
All right, next up, consider if and when to return to in-person community activities commission meetings.
Excuse me, may I make a comment about something at the market? Just this has to do with the farmer's market. This is Joe again.
Sure,
I might
Joe.
do it here. All right. I just wanted to know about some of the community organizations that were supposed to be there on Thursday, because there hasn't been one from the recycle. I forgot what that committee, that one is called. And they were supposed to be there, I think, one of like the last Thursday of the month, but they were there once and I haven't seen them since. But now, since we have all these different rules about recycling, it would be great if they would come.
So are you referring to Sustainable Carmel?
What do they do? I'm not.
They were the ones who had originally spearheaded having the compostable bins at the market. And they were the ones handing out the bins, gosh, a couple years ago. So
yeah, I guess so. I don't remember the woman's name.
They haven't been in some time. The Carmel Residents Association was there a couple weeks ago and they were handing out reusable bags. So we can reach out to Sustainable Carmel. And next month, our environmental compliance manager, Agnes Martlet, will be coming to the Community Activities Commission meeting to talk to us about all things recycling at all of our events, including the farmers market.
Great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right. Let's see, I'm just going to pull it. Sorry.
Okay.
In-person attendance.
Yes, in-person attendance. So as you are all aware, beginning in March, the council moved to hybrid meetings. So they are conducting meetings in the council chamber again. There are 27 spaces available for members of the public to participate in those meetings in person. They're also still running them via Zoom. The CERT team is there checking vaccination cards, providing masks for people who have forgotten theirs. So far those meetings have run very smoothly. At this point, it's up to the boards and commissions whether or not the board or commission wants to return to the council chamber and to adopt this hybrid model. Some of the things to consider are that we would probably need to grab an additional staff member, not the CERT team, just because our attendance does not necessarily compare with the council level, though we do have good attendance. Everybody who is in the council chamber will need to be vaccinated and also boosted, and wear their masks at all times. So this will be up to the commission to do. My library board just considered this as well. Some of the boards and commissions are waiting and maintaining the Zoom meeting only. For instance, Library Board of Trustees decided to continue to meet in Zoom until such time as we could meet in the council chamber without masks, because they felt that that was a key component to being in person, was being able to see each other's faces. So it is up to this commission which direction you would like to go and the reasoning behind it. But that is where we are at this time, and I will let you all discuss, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, I have a question.
Donna?
I'm willing to meet in the chamber if that's doable. But I sort of agree, if we have to wear a mask, all of us, it's for some people it's more difficult than others. But knowing that I'm going to be in Europe in July and Utah in October and miss our meetings, I certainly like the hybrid. I would be able to attend. Yes. I haven't missed a meeting in, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. So I like the hybrid a whole lot for people that can be there, and that if they can't, they can be on Zoom. When I say people, I mean our commission and staff. So waiting until we have masks, we don't know when that's going to be. I'm fully,
we don't know when that will
boosted, so that could be next month or that could be in August. So I'm willing to go either way, but I really like hybrid. Thank you.
I would tend. Oh, I'm sorry, John.
No, go for it, Linda.
No, I love the idea of waiting until we can go unmasked in the chambers. And hybrid is always fine.
And I'd lean hybrid just for the continuity for this team, you know, and this commission to continue to meet given lives and schedules. I think that's been really valuable. I love seeing your faces. So this has been really great. And I'd struggle, I think, to sit in a room with masks on, you know, in the near future. I think it'd be great to wait until we can unmask to go back. Now, can I just ask, I guess, a procedural question? We would need to vote to go back once once masks are no longer needed, or can we vote to say, how are we going to do that? We're just going to say, hey, next month, let's meet in person because last month they removed masks? If we did something like that.
Good question, John. So procedurally, we can revisit this anytime that we want. So if you want to have a standing item on the agenda where we just do a quick check-in on this, oh, nothing has changed regarding masks, we can. We can wait and kind of do what we did this time around, which is take a lead from the council and let them test things out. If we get to the point of being able to hold these meetings without masks on indoors. So it's up to all of you. The easiest thing probably would be to keep a standing item on the meeting, and then we can just, if there's nothing to discuss, there's nothing to discuss. But if we get to, let's say, October and nothing has still changed for masks, we have the option to go, you know what, let's meet in person and do the hybrid thing in the council chamber. We want to be in person now. We're ready to do that. But if and as long as the state allows for us to continue to meet via Zoom and make that available to members of the public, we can keep doing that too. So I'll leave it up to the group to provide direction to staff, and we don't need to do a formal vote every time. But if you provide me with direction and have a consensus on what direction you want to go, and I think we haven't heard from Ellen or
Judy.
Right.
Okay, I'll step in. You know, I have no problem meeting in person, but I too would prefer it to be without masks. I think until we're ready, the city is ready to let people in, and it's a lot of extra effort for staff to set up and have somebody at the door to monitor everything. And so I'm happy with the way it currently is. And it is easier, you know, with people who, like John said, we have lives and Donna can attend and I can attend. So I think it's I'd prefer to keep it as it is.
Thanks, Judy. Ellen, I see Ellen.
Yeah, here I am. Thank you so much. And, you know, I am okay with keeping the Zoom, doing a hybrid, you know, going to meetings in the chamber. You know, we haven't done that since I've been a commissioner. But you know what? I just want to do what is the easiest and less stressful for the staff. So, you know, I'm just open to what is the best for everybody around. Thanks.
Donna, I know you.
Yeah, well, I was just going back to Ashley. So all we need to do is to vote today to continue hybrid, if I'm accurate, and to have it on an agenda item to just revisit it every month until we decide what else we want to do.
That's correct.
Okay, so you need a motion.
And yeah, but by hybrid, so hybrid would be returning to the council chamber and having us be in person, but also allowing for people to participate via Zoom at the same time. If we want to just stay as we are right now, that would be just the Zoom only option.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this is a Zoom only option. And so we're going to vote on a Zoom only option at this time, and then revisit the option of going to hybrid or in the console only. Those are the other two. If all the masks go away, then do we still have hybrid available?
Yeah. I think we'll continue. I think that now that the world in general has made hybrid optional. We'll probably, as a city, continue to do this even when masks are no longer, if and when masks are no longer required for these types of meetings, because it is a matter of accessibility and convenience. As John said, people have lives, and it is awfully nice for meetings at whatever time of the day they are to be able to tune in from home, from your office, from wherever you are, if you cannot be there in person. So this will be a continued option. So we'll keep a standing item on the agenda to revisit this as needed going forward.
So I'll make a motion to remain in virtual meeting mode, but leave a standing agenda item to discuss returning in person or changing this format each month. And yeah, so that's the motion.
I'll second. Oh. You got it, Ellen.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, sorry.
All right, so Linda seconded.
I think it was,
I thought
Leslie?
it.
I think Judy beat Linda.
Oh, okay. Judy.
Linda Calafiore,
Yes.
Donna Jett,
Yes.
Ellen Martin,
Yes.
Judy Refuerzo,
Yes.
John Mysick.
Yes.
Approved. Thank you.
Great. Do we need to open that up to any discussion or from the public? Should I have done that?
Yeah, you should have, and I should have caught you not doing that. So let's go backwards and see if there's anything that needs to remake the motion. We'll remake the motion.
Yeah,
that's quite all right.
Sorry. Any comments from the public?
My comment is Zoom, yay.
Thank you, Joe. Based on that, I don't think we need to retool the motion.
I don't think we need to redo the motion either, but thank you for catching that, John, so we could go back and do that again.
Okay, great. Next item on the agenda, receive a presentation on the community activities development budget and the city's capital improvement plan, discuss and provide staff with direction.
All right, so last month we had a preliminary discussion about the Community Activities Commission budget. At that time, we just looked at things conceptually in terms of what we needed. I didn't have firm numbers in some cases. I have had a preliminary meeting as of last week with our budget and finance staff, as well as the city administrator and assistant city administrator about my proposed budget. This will go forward, and that's attached in your packet. I also included again the schedule for budget meetings for the spring. So the next time that the council will be considering the budget will be at their next regular meeting, May the 3rd. They're going to receive the submittal of the proposed budget to council. So first pass at this budget, they won't be making any decisions at this point in time, but they will be looking for questions and feedback from members of the public. This is that time where we usually get, depending on the time of year, 10 to 30 questions. And then there'll be a special proposed budget workshop the week of May the 16th. So stay tuned for that firm date. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we'll go through quickly the community activities budget. Go. All right, can everybody see my screen?
Yes. Yes.
Yep. Okay, so the thing that I want everybody to focus in on here, and you can see I love my color coding. So I've gone through for each event and just kind of marked out, the cost, overall costs for things. For contract services, we're looking at an increase in our budget over previous years. And that's in an effort, as we discussed at the last meeting, to look at how can we make some investments in our events. For instance, one of the big things we can do is sound. Memorial Day and Veterans Day, we've typically had struggles with sound in the park because it can get noisy in there with traffic. but I think we can do a better job there. As we saw at the city birthday parade, having everybody again centralized in the park. I think there's some opportunities for some fun Halloween music there and up and down Ocean Avenue. It was wonderful having the surround sound kind of holiday music at the tree lighting. So when we have things going on in the park, are there opportunities that enhance what we have going on? In addition, with the screen line is the funds that Niall talked about in terms of the farmers market. So making sure that they're supported with music, compostable bags. When we did originally the RFP for the farmers market, and Linda and Donna were on that panel, I saw different models for how cities supported farmers market. And I don't think that the funds that I'm proposing are over and above what I've seen other communities do in terms of paying a market manager or having a full-time city staff member organize a farmer's market. So we are I can't stress enough how incredibly lucky we are to have Niall and Raul. And I'm pleased that we are able to hopefully continue supporting the farmer's market to the extent that we can with funds so that we can start adding in things like Third Thursday, ensuring that we're doing good regular communications and working with them on that we've got funds for programs that are happening during the year, that we're making sure that our signage is consistent and keeping with what we wanted to do. So that is where you will see the increase in contract services. Also things in contract services are things like the decoration of the holiday tree at the bottom of Ocean Avenue. That is included in our contract budget as well. On to community promotions. So we're looking at, supplies for events, any equipment that we need. And I will say that if you look at the events, again, this is included in your packet, so you really want to go through line item. We run a pretty lean department, guys. Staff is excellent at finding deals, community partnerships to enhance our events. But really, when you look at the cost per event for the number of events we put on, it's very impressive. And these are things that have been honed and refined year after year after year. So kudos to Margie and to Leslie for keeping us super efficient. And but at the same time, having really wonderful events. For advertising, we're still going to keep maintaining our investment there. I think it's really gotten to a good place of consistency where we're advertising in the farmers market. We're putting our posters up around town. We're working with, again, community partners on things like the Home Crafters Marketplace, where we partnered with the other organizations who were also having craft fairs the same day we were, so that we had advertising that was in sync together that could be handed out at the different inns, which works really well for all of us and helping communicate with community members and visitors from outside the area who are coming to Home Crafters that day or to one of the other craft fairs, so they know what is going on. That's just about it for the proposed budget. So I'll be curious to see what questions we have for that the council receives from the community, if any, about our community activities budget. We'll continue to run a lean budget probably for the next few years. I did include funds, as I have in past years, for new programs and events. So we've talked about Citizens Academy. We've talked about a potential street dancers, silent dance party, and got some quotes for there. So we're going to start, you'll start to see these things get plugged into the calendar as we move along. And we'll be reaching out to you as we've done in the past for ad hoc committee help if needed, when needed, because they're finding that very effective for planning these things. We'll probably be starting, and once we get into the next item, which is upcoming special events, community group fair is in progress. Ellen and Donna met with Margie, so they can give a report out at that time, but these things are moving forward, and we will continue to work on how and when we can incorporate in new programs and events in this upcoming year so that we have a well-balanced event schedule. And that is what I have on our operating budget at this point in time. And I'm going to stop sharing so you guys don't have to continue to look at my rainbow spreadsheet. In terms of the capital improvement plan, you all know that part of the purview of the Community Activities Commission is to make recommendations regarding the Scout House and Vista Lobos. Previously, the Community Activities Department has also had oversight of the Forest Theater as well. That's now under the management of Pacific Rep Theater. The Public Works Director and I will continue to work with PAC Rep on the use of that facility. With regards to the Scout House, at the strategic planning session that was held on March the 10th, the council directed staff to work on a request for proposals for the Scout House, specifically for the management of the Scout House, but also to complete necessary needed upgrades to that facility to get it open. And so that is in progress. There was no direction at that time regarding Vista Lobos. The council also held a meeting on the proposed capital improvement plan that was presented to them at a special meeting on March the 22nd. That was just to receive that information. No formal decisions were made about any of the projects included in the capital improvement plan at that time. However, the Park Plaza project, council did direct staff not to pursue it as it may be considered in the future as part of an overall downtown master plan, which has been discussed at previous strategic planning sessions. So that project at this point in time is backburnered. So stay tuned for the May council meeting and then the budget workshop on the 7th. Actually, it's been set for the 17th. There'll be more information forthcoming, and I'll continue to provide all of you with updates at our meetings as we go forward through the spring. And if there's any questions regarding community activities budget or capital improvement plan, I'm happy to answer them.
Linda.
More of a comments. I was really pleasantly surprised at how low our budget was once I looked at it. So yeah, it's pretty astonishing. And then I had a question about the salaries. I think there was, the salaries was about $40,000. So clearly that's not the salary of the community activity staff. So how is that allocated?
Yeah, so that was included from, and I didn't have the numbers quite yet for our new budget. That was with the reductions for because of the pandemic. So that was a no Margie year. And then we had Margie return to community activities in February. So what you'll see is actually higher than what is included in the package.
Yeah, I guess what I'm asking is, I would have expected to see half your salary on the salary budget, but so somehow you and Leslie's salary goes in another line item of the city, correct?
Right. So technically, yes, we both should be split between library and community activities, and then Margie would be full on in the community activities department. And I've talked to finance about different ways to make sure that that's allocated. It is whatever is easiest for whoever's handling payroll at the time. But I'll bring this up with our finance manager.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, I'm not saying that we need to reflect all the salaries. I was just kind of I've had these discussions with them before, and it's a matter of, I mean, it's all, the work all gets done regardless. But yes, there is that allocation because there are two of us who have feet in both camps. And it is, there is I can't remember what it is because I have this almost annual discussion with the finance department during budget season about my salary, Leslie's salary, and how that's accounted for in our budget. Okay, thank you.
Donna.
So Margie is full-time for activities.
Margie is back full-time for community activities, yes.
Oh, good.
As
Okay.
of February. Yes, it's very good.
So she'll be in charge of all the events.
Yes, she is. Well, we're dividing and conquering. Leslie and I found that works very well. So we each have our assignment going through the year. So it may be that we're all working together on them, but one person will be leading them. So for instance, we just went through the list and said, okay, this person's working on this one, this person's working on this one. And then we discuss them out as we go along.
Okay, and then the other.
Will she be getting there? Oh. Yeah. Go ahead, Donna.
I said, and then the other two, of course, are, yeah, so you have a lead on all the events with the other two on the, right behind them as lieutenants.
Exactly.
And each one has a lead on, be it the pumpkin roll or home crafters or, and that way it's, yeah, that seems so more organized and then everybody else can help out. Thank you.
Right, exactly. And then that way we don't have Margie getting burnout and that worked well for, like I said, last year with Leslie and I each had kind of every other event that we were the lead on. And it was helpful to have a point person, but yes, you're right. And not only did we have another person within the department or multiple people now, thank goodness, but we had you guys as ad hoc committees knowing we'd have you as volunteers. And so that it all balanced out really well. So we're carrying that model over from last year.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's great, especially for like home crafters. Margie can get there at 4:30 and then, people can get there at 6:45, 7 o'clock.
Well, whenever you roll out of bed.
On a serious note, I'd reiterate, just the work you've done as a team from a staff standpoint to create the budget and to keep it within a budget. It has been fantastic. I just want to go on record as really highlighting the pumpkin roll coming back. And I always think when people look at budgets, they try to highlight the outliers. And I think there's an outlier at the bottom of that in the snow as well. But I want to really make it clear. I think that a few of the events we do throughout the year create significant business around the event, whether it be the pumpkin roll with people being downtown and especially having it during the day. We went to dinner locally afterwards as a family. Same exact thing with the snow coming in the afternoon of whatever day we pick in December. We again went to dinner in town as a family, and I think there's a lot of opportunity like that, and it supports local businesses. So when I think about budget numbers, I just think it's important for everybody that's looking at these and has a say when it comes to approving these. I think it's important that they're looking at holistically, how does it benefit the community, the town? How does it bring the community together? And I think both of those specific events are really important and are great for families in the community.
Well, I just had a question. The rainbow chart you showed, will we get a copy of that? Because that's not in our packet, right?
It was in your packet. No, I included it in your packet. And that's just at this point draft and may change with feedback from council or if we questions from public. But yes, that was included in your packet. Yeah. If you don't have it, then let me know and I can send it out as if you
well, I just found it on my iPad because I was interested in snow. And I'm assuming that we doubled our budget on snow or tripled it, whatever we thought, because
yeah, I've got some ideas about snow and how we do that again. Don't worry. Yes,
I have it.
The wheels are turning.
Yes, the budget is congratulated. Weddings cost more than that. You're doing all these events, so that's exceptionally inexpensive. What accomplishes out of your group. Thank you, Leslie and Ashley and Margie.
Ellen or Judy?
Hi, thank you, John. And thank you, Ashley and Leslie and Margie and everyone who makes these events possible. Because as John said, it's really important to the community and to the business community. I'm sure that a lot of people, I did stay downtown and went out for dinner after the Halloween parade. And that was my first time being in the parade. That was really great. I had fun. And so also I know about putting on events and you guys do a great job and your budget is so low. So being able to make it possible through the pandemic and now, is really extraordinary. So I was just thinking about that budget. You probably do like 0.5 for people when you're looking at your staff and do it that way. And like, I understand how you do it because I have to do it where this part of my salary goes here, this part of my salary goes here and allocate it. So, but extraordinary job that you guys have done. And I'm really honored to be part of the committee and help this year again. Thanks.
Thanks, Ellen.
Yeah, I'll just ditto everything everybody else said. Staff does a great job and makes do with money, and it's magic. So thank you.
And comments from public. Okay. Do we need to make a motion or anything, or it seems like we're just
no? This is just for your guys' knowledge about where we are with budget for the next fiscal year and for our events. So if there's no changes anybody wants to make, or if you think of anything in the meantime before we get to May 3rd, or as we go along in the next couple months as part of the budget process, please email me, call me, let me know if you have thoughts so that I can incorporate those things in, or try to incorporate those things in.
Thank you. All right, next item, receive updates and discuss the 2022 special events calendar for the city of Carmel-by-the-Sea.
Yeah. So all of you have the 2022 special events calendar for the city of Carmel-by-the-Sea. No major changes at this point. Some of you are aware that I did provide a presentation for council last week regarding Car Week. There are still a lot of unknowns there in terms of the Tuesday event. So we'll be working with Jeannie Friedman to figure out how she wants to proceed, if she wants to proceed with that Tuesday event. But I think we'll be okay for Car Week this week, and we will be prepared. And I may be bringing an item back to the Community Activities Commission with regards to some outreach that we can do to get some community input on Car Week in general to inform where we land for 2023 for those Tuesday and Thursday car events. And then I'm going to turn it over to Margie and Donna and Ellen because they had their meeting regarding our community group fair. So take it away, ladies.
Margie is giving, I think, the staff report first. Is that correct, Margie?
Yes, I'm just trying to pop on here. I don't know if you can see me or not.
Yep.
Hi, Margie.
You guys not. Oh, my hair is all flat. Ellen and Donna and I met. We talked about changing the name to a Community Connection Day. We looked at all of the organizations that we might be able to invite. I still haven't been able to go out and measure the park to see how many tables or spaces that we have out there. We also looked at the day in which we might have it and have that connect directly into the farmers market. The date we're looking at right now is September 22nd, which is a Thursday. And that gives us plenty of time to invite groups to come out, set up a table, and then be able to present their club or their organization and to be able to get the community connected. We also talked about inviting like waste management, the water district, and organizations such as that to be able to bring those in and have the community be able to connect with them also. So that is in progress, and I can keep you updated as we go along. Ellen or Donna, do you want to add anything?
Yes, thank you, Margie. It was very productive. And we felt that reaching out to the community on a Thursday, we already have the setup so the city doesn't have to do it another day, another time, and get it integrated into the farmers market. And Margie was meeting with the farmers market to see what works for them. We don't want to ever do anything that doesn't enhance the farmers market. So we would do it either maybe at 1 to 3 or something toward the tail end of the market or during, we'd have to look at that again at the behest of the market, because we're all for their success. And thank you. And it's a beginning, what works, what doesn't work. I guess we'll just find out, but it gives it a chance to, put together, decide what we want it to look like. And there are the tents that if we, but again, that we're trying to also save the city's workers, the crew that puts things up and takes things down. September should be good weather. So Ellen, do you have something to add?
Yeah, it was a great meeting, and adding, not-for-profits that provide services to the community so that they can have more awareness on recycling and that kind of thing. And then more, asking nonprofits, cultural arts organizations that are in Carmel, and then seeing if people will, do, Donna, you told me not to say giveaways. What was takeaways?
I like takeaways if it's a compost or recycled, or some people of course have pamphlets. That's inevitable. Pack Rep, with their schedule, or the Bach Festival, or any organizations that want to. So, but takeaways if they have, something to give people to put in their bags. So West End is in August, and I went to that last year, and they gave away water. And now I went to an event in LA, they gave water away in the little boxes that milk cartons come in. They were recyclable. Have you seen the water in those? And that's they're like a milk carton. In fact, I kept it in my refrigerator, still have it, because they gave away water, but they didn't want to give away plastic bottles. So
I think partnering with to begin with the farmers market really makes sense operationally and for production, and limits the cost to the city. And, Donna and I are excited to work with Margie to see how it can all come together. And September is a great time just after Car Week. Bills, with, people wanting to do things. So, it's going to be great.
Thank you all for that report. I don't have any other announcements regarding events at this point in time. There may be a change, with the exception of there may be a change this weekend with Breakfast with the Bunny, because the weather has turned on us. It feels more like March roaring in like a lion with this wind. So they may be moving to the CYC instead of being in the park, because of those high winds and the possibility of rain and soggy grass. So stay tuned on that. We'll be putting out something in the Friday letter and getting that word out as soon as the Lions have made that decision. But they're looking at the youth center and moving out of this terrible wind. And then our next event after that will be Memorial Day, and then we'll be into the summertime and the thick of event season. So we'll continue to discuss as we go along.
Do we have a date for the pumpkin roll?
We don't.
Thank you,
we need, oh, who's that, Judy? We
That's
don't
Judy.
have a date set for the pumpkin roll yet. We'll get that nailed down.
Okay, great. Any other comments, Donna?
July 4th, I guess I wasn't aware, but there's not going to be food this year again. Is that either way, I'm happy with whatever the city decides to do, but is that sort of going to be the standard? There won't be lunch and then people can eat in town? Or
yes, that will be the standard going. I mean, the Pops really had a great time last year and wanted to come back. And I think with the size of the crowd that we saw last year, I think encouraging people to dine downtown, walk across the street to Bruno's or down the street to Nielsen's, to get sandwiches to enjoy while they're in the park listening to our music would be the best course of action. And one of the changes I will look at though is potentially closing down 6th Avenue for crowd overflow, so that people can watch over the fence where the bus stop is and have clear line of sight. I looked at other options for that as well, but knowing what crowds we have in the park, I just want to make sure that we're being as safe as possible. So I'll be looking at that.
Thank you.
Ashley, can we go back to Car Week again? So you said something about, you mentioned it just now, but I also heard it. I don't know if I heard it in the Friday letter or if I read it somewhere else, but there's going to be a survey. Is that right? From the city to the residents about what they want to see during Car Week? Is that happening?
That is correct. That was my proposal to council. And we did receive feedback from one of our council members regarding surveys in general and their effectiveness. And I think that so far what we've sent out from the Community Activities Commission, the questions we've gone over as a group before we've sent them out. And so I would propose doing something like that, and also a potential meeting. It may be hybrid, or we could keep it virtual, like this commission did for the Scout House and the Forest Theater, because that face-to-face or Zoom to Zoom or square to square, whatever you want to call it, input would also be important. So we may be doing some community meetings as well. I'll be sketching out a plan and bringing it to all of you for consideration and for direction. Does that answer your question, Judy?
It does. And I have another question about Car Week. Are the restaurants buying parking spots and reserving them this year?
So the parking,
not restaurants, but yeah.
Well, it's not limited to the business type.
Right.
Yes, the city will continue that practice during Car Week of renting out parking stalls to retailers, restaurateurs, and innkeepers as part of their programming and promotion of their business during that week. Especially important this year with the uncertainty about the Tuesday event and with the change to the Thursday. And I do want to stress, I've talked and keep talking to our event organizers. And, COVID just really threw things off in terms of logistics for planning, in terms of having adequate staff. This is a challenge that a lot of businesses across the board are facing to execute these things, especially with Car Week, that are incredibly labor intensive and incredibly detail oriented and complicated, and also ensuring that there are adequate funds. So we'll continue working with our event organizers as we go forward, get some of that input from the community about what 2023 should look like for our community, and we'll go from there.
Okay, and then Prancing Ponies, are they going to have the same setup that they normally have, or is it going to expand?
It'll likely be the proposed application I have at this point in time is the same setup as previous years. And I'll be working with the event organizer on whether that remains the same as we go forward.
Okay.
Ashley, you will be in the event that the Tuesday program doesn't go forward. There are other groups who, if they choose, because the city has a cap on 2 events, if any other group applies and has a proposal, is there a deadline? Like, this is April. So if somebody was going to apply the 1st of May, it wouldn't give enough time normally to do anything small or even grand. So are the cities, I guess the question is, the city is accepting proposals for the events during Car Week?
Right. So at this point in time, yes, people can submit applications if they want. I do have those applications in for the Tuesday, Thursday event. So we'll look at them, but whether or not those move forward. And as you point out, Donna, it is April, and with the magnitude of events that we've had in the past, it can be challenging to pull something together. And you all have worked on events with us. They're not generally a quick turnaround unless you want to go absolutely bonkers trying to nail down all those details. So I want to remain as nimble as possible with Car Week 2022. But I also don't want to see something just jammed into those 2 slots when we know, and we've had these 2 regularly occurring events that, you know, for over 10 years, over 20 years in Pebble Beach case, that have become really particular to Carmel. So I want to.
Would they come before this commission as a first-time event before they council?
That is typically what we have done in the past. So I would bring that forward as a presentation. Anytime we do a brand new event, which is, it's been a little while since we've done a brand new event, but also anytime there's substantive changes to events. So like we just had Taste of Carmel come at the beginning of May, or at the beginning of the year. That was a new one that was potentially going to happen on 6th. So yes, those will continue to come to Community Activities Commission if we get them for Car Week this year. And of course, Car Week next year.
Great. Any comments from the public? All right, with that, let's move to future agenda items. And I guess based on this conversation, we all
John, you froze.
turned it in.
Oh,
I froze.
Yeah, there you are. So you said based on this conversation, and that's where you cut off.
We're going to keep the future agenda item. We're going to keep the agenda item for the potential to return to in-person meetings on the agenda.
We will keep that on the agenda, and I think that we should also keep the budget on the agenda as we go through the spring. And then next meeting, as I mentioned earlier, we will have a presentation from our environmental compliance manager and go over our protocols, what we're looking at from event organizers as well in terms of keeping events that are here in Carmel-by-the-Sea as absolutely green as possible.
Yeah.
Donna?
I was going to suggest, and that's up to Margie too, if we need an update on what we're doing with Community Connection of September, when we're going to start advertising, or our, you know, how we're going to reach out by letters, by phone, by email. So I don't know if we need to do that next month or maybe the month after. This is April, May, June, and if we want to do this event in September, we kind of need to keep it, you know, on the burner there. Margie.
Yeah, we can. I can give you an update as you know, as each meeting comes up to where that is at. I'm developing a letter right now to be sent out to the organizations, inviting them to see if they would be interested. So, and then I'll give you an update on who's responded and who's not, and who we need to put a strong arm on.
Yeah, and some of these, I mean, you guys as the ad hoc committee can continue to meet outside of these meetings and give us a big broad picture maybe in June on things that you guys have nailed down.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other items from the public that want to see on the agenda? All right, I think with that, we can adjourn.
Thank you all.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks, John.
Thanks, John. Thanks, everybody. Happy Easter.
Take care. You too. Take care, everybody.